Today I'll be explaining Parsvottanasana, intense forward extension pose. Now before we start, I would highly recommend you to get one of these mats. It's a mat from the yoga mat which has reference lines how to improve your practice, because you cannot keep your feet, your legs anyhow. Geometrically it would not be correct and it would not give you the correct results, or in some instances it might even worsen your practice. It might give you pains if you're fixing things anyhow. It's like a building. You need a geometry for it to stand straight. Now you're starting with placing your left leg back using the back reference line and your right leg forward. There is always this question, what distance you should have between your legs, front and back. Now that is very different as you advance in your practice. The more your hamstrings stretch, the more your back of your knees open up, the more your calf muscles open up, the more your psoas stretches. So there might be a right distance, but that right distance might not be the right distance for you at the moment. So you always need to start where your body is open, and then you can start from there and advance further in your practice. The first thing to remember is watch your ankle, watch your knee, and watch your hip joint. So they're in the same line. You don't want that, your foot falling outwards. Control that front line. The second thing, turning the back leg, the knee of your back leg, center your hip. Because if you do it with your hip out, you will come down like that. I'll show it on the other side also. So it's good to see it from both sides. Once your hip is centered, keep your hands on your hips. Lifting your buttock bones away from the heels. Now watch my front leg. I'm not dropping forward. That lifts the back heel and it makes the whole body unstable. Then you don't have a good balance. You might fall down. Pushing your leg thigh back. That gives you space in your lower lumbar to open your back. The tight space of your lumbar is opening up, and it is there that intense stretch is actually. You're working on your hamstrings, of course, but if your hamstrings are open, you can work on your lumbar and your psoas. Back, and then smoothly come down. See that you have equal balance on your front and your back leg. So when you're shifting forward, you should not shift the body weight away from your back leg. Try to be even in your front and your back leg. Coming down, you can use 2 bricks in the beginning, and then see that your hip is centered. Try to relax your leg. Now hamstring is anyhow a tight muscle, and if you tighten it and try to push it down, it will not help you. That will worsen your practice and you'll just get frustrated in your practice. Lift your chest, lift your hips. Keep your hamstrings relaxed, but don't bend your knees. Neither should you tighten your knees too much either, because that's again the other extreme of it. Lifting your chest. Breathe softly in the beginning. Feel the posture. Feel what the posture is doing for you. Open hamstrings, open back. And then when you feel your chest is not closing, you should not come down like this, closing your diaphragm and your chest, lumbar, everything. That's as wrong as it gets. There is no need to do it. And then same, you can take the bricks down. Stretch your back out, keep your knees firm, and keep that ankle, knee, hip in one line. So you're rather on your big toe than on your small toe. While coming up, take the hands on your hips and come up. And then change. When you're in the posture, hold the posture for about 10 breaths and 10 long soft breaths, no tension, and then change your leg. Turning your knee, center your hip. Already here, feel that you have equal weight on your front and your back leg. Lift your chest. Feel that sacral lumbar vertebra, press it in the body. And then thigh back and down. Ankle, knee, hip in one line. Lift your hip, your buttock bones. Stretch your lumbar out. And again, don't tense your body, pointless. Breathe soft, deep, that keeps you reflective on what you're doing. And then feel work. Because coming up and down is coming up and down in the pose. It's not working in the pose, it's in the pose. You need to have that patience and work with what you want to achieve in the pose. And then hands on the hips. Inhale, come up. When you're advancing in your practice, now I'll remove the bricks and then I'll show you how you should go directly in the pose. Watch the movement of the upper thigh moving backwards, which gives you the opening of your lumbar, psoas, hamstring. Centering your hip, sacral lumbar vertebra in, because that is the main issue. Now, if you're sitting for a long time, either at your work or on the sofa watching Netflix or whatever, effect is the same, doesn't matter, job or home. Sacral lumbar vertebra in, lift your chest. Now see that hip centered, knees firm but not tight. Space of your diaphragm open. Now especially that little space 1 centimeter above your navel, that is a tight spot. Feel it, open it, lift it up, and then thighs back, thighs back. Keep on pulling the muscles of your abdomen in and down. Now see that your arms are slightly out and your elbows are moving forward. This helps you in not closing your chest. Stretch your back out. Same, buttock bones lifting up, spine stretching forward. Keep a good space between you and your body, or your leg and your body. While coming up, pull the muscles of your abdomen in, because to lift anything, you need to engage your core. So don't just do it with your legs, that makes you shaky again. Then abdomen. And down. 10 breaths, 10 breaths. Now, I'll give you a little tip on your practice. When you're practicing yoga, don't practice yoga as a philosophy, because there is a lot of dreamy yoga where you have this dreamy aspect of what you will achieve by doing yoga. Just throw that out. It's useless. Yoga is practical. When you're doing your posture, you want to achieve something physically, because physical, mental, body, mind, psychosomatic, it's one. And that's where we want to get a connection and a balance first. When you're doing your practice, choose very few postures like Parsvottanasana you want to do, Janu Shirshasana you want to do. Choose 2-3 postures and practice it over a long space of time, like half an hour, 45 minutes, and then do Shavasana. That will give you much more than doing the jumping around of the mat. You know, this fitness yoga or aerobics yoga, it's not yoga. Take your time, feel, and practice. If you have any questions, drop down a comment. Thank you.